Hi guys and dolls, divinedivak here, and I am going to get this video out. I have recorded it several times and just not happy with the recording. So I'm going to go over my side effects from chemo. I have finished my first course, which is the AC, which is adriamycin cytoxin. I think I got it right this time. I had one dose every other week. And so the side effects were actually varied. And so it's kind of good that I didn't get through all the side effects on the other tapes, because I had something pop up yesterday that was highly unexpected. So these are some of the side effects that I saw through taking this course. Everybody's different, and they've been telling me that all the way through. Very much true. Everyone is different. Every person has different side effects. But it was kind of nice to be able to see other people talk about it, and some of the things I did experience and some of the things I didn't experience. But it's nice to know so that you're not shocked, because unless you're going through it, you really don't understand it. I mean, and my caregiver is fantastic, but you know, you say, okay, I feel this, and they're like, okay, yeah, just take that. But the reality is they're not going through it. So if you happen on this video, I'll ask you to take a moment to subscribe. Click on the subscribe button. And if you like this content and it's something that is helping you through your journey, please hit the like button, give me a thumbs up so that I know that this content is helping someone. And if you'd like, leave a comment below. Let me know if you're experiencing the same thing or you have experienced the same thing. So my first round, actually I did it, I have some notes here because they were, you know, my eyes water and I spend my time with watery eyes all the time, which is one of the side effects for me, is watery eyes. Between the first treatment was pretty non-eventful, except for day 3. Oh, I forgot to tell you, if you're squeamish, I'm going to be talking about things very plainly and bluntly, because I appreciated watching videos where people were actually telling me actual factual things rather than fluffing it over, so that when I experienced it, I wasn't like, what the hey, nobody's talking about this. So if you're squeamish, this is a squeamish alert. The first treatment I had was relatively uneventful. I mean, I went out to lunch afterwards. It's a little tired, a little sleepy the day after, but not crazy sleepy. I was working, and but day 3, I had the worst constipation. I mean, and all my life, my sisters and my brother will tell you that, you know, I've battled with constipation on and off all my life, but never like this. I felt like I was trying to pass the Rock of Gibraltar, and I was in pain for days after that. And so I was like Metamucil every day, prune juice, everything. But that was like really the main, other than my eyes. Like that first day, I noticed that my eyes were very sensitive to the sun. When I came out of treatment, my eyes were very, very, very sensitive to the sun. Even though I went out to eat, I found myself squinting a lot, and I did forget my sunglasses, but it didn't make a difference. Even when I was inside, I found myself squinting, and then the watery eyes started around then. So I guess those are the 2 major side effects that I had at that time. Treatment number 2, I was kind of like tired, you know, the fatigue. The fatigue comes, I slept on the way home from, you know, quasi on the way home. And I don't think we went out to eat that day. Or maybe we stopped at Five Guys and we got some burgers and stuff. And they say you're not supposed to eat greasy foods, but I haven't had any issue with that. So that's just me personally. I still had issues with constipation, so I was really on it with the Metamucil, and I took a stool softener the day before treatment number 2, because they do give you anti-nausea medication And I'm going to stop for a second and talk about the nausea. The nausea comes and goes for me. I went through all 4 and I never threw up. Thank God. I'm sure nobody loves to throw up, but I got through without having the feeling of having to throw up. The nausea is just like a queasy stomach. And for me, at least, it was a queasy stomach and some chills. But part of the problem is I get hot flashes all the time. So I don't know whether the hot flashes are due to my age and the hot flashes, or is the hot flash due to nausea? Because it was funny, on my 4th and final treatment, the nurse says, "Oh, you feel a little clammy," and and she thought it was a symptom of the me being on treatments. But the reality is, right before she had seen me, I was in the waiting room and I had had a hot flash. So that's why I felt clammy. So I'm sure it's kind of difficult to differentiate when it is actually the nausea and when it is the just my normal hot flashes. So I finished treatment number 2, and I was lucky enough on treatment number 2 to have had like some holiday days in there too. So I went back to work, no issue at all. Work was, I worked 7 days straight actually before treatment number 3. And so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can work through this. I can definitely work through this. Because my doctor kept asking me, are you still at work? Are you still at work? Are you still at work? I'm like, yeah, I'm at work. It's all good. I mean, once or twice I felt a little tired, a little fatigued, but I work in a job where I could sit down for a minute if I needed to. And that was a blessing. Treatment number 3, that was the treatment that was where everything turned. Treatment number 3, I had 2 days off in a row and I was supposed to go to work on the 3rd day. I woke up and I was like, I'm not going anywhere. So I just texted them, said, can't go to work today. I was just so tired. I felt like I barely got out of bed to go to the bathroom. It just knocked me on my butt. And I was just down for the count. So then, like at the end of the day, my boss texted me, you think you could come in tomorrow? And I'm like, not coming in tomorrow. I can't imagine that this would feel any better the next day. And then the next day I called in and started my leave of absence. I just couldn't do it anymore. So, my hat's off to those who can work through this whole thing. I don't know, maybe my age, I don't know. But I was like, cannot do this. I was knocked out on my 3rd one for like 7 days. I mean, typically around the 4th day, I felt like, oh yeah, I could work. But the 3rd treatment, I was knocked on my butt for 7 days. I just barely got out of bed, dragged myself to get something to eat because I was hungry. But I just could not get myself up. The fatigue was real. Then, treatment number 4, I was falling asleep during treatment number 4 in the treatment chair, just in and out. Treatment number 4 wasn't as bad as treatment number 3, which was interesting. I mean, treatment number 3 knocked me out. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had my fatigue issues. But what was interesting about treatment number 4 was treatment number 3, I still had those bouts of teetering on constipation. So I was like Metamuciling it up. I was prune juicing. I was eating prunes. I was eating apples. Everything that I could do to just keep myself moving. And, making sure I moved every day. And this might be too much information for some of you, but for some of you, you need to hear this so that you know, because it was interesting. They kept talking about diarrhea. That's all they talked to me about. No nurse, no health professional talked about the constipation side. So I'm going to be the poster child for the constipation side. It was horrific. So I was on it. After that treatment number 1, I was not going to go through that again. So I was very, very proactive about it. Treatment number 4, however, was the opposite. I thought, okay, I had gotten through week number one after treatment number 4. I had some fatigue days, but I could still go out every once in a while for a little bit. And I tried to go out every day because I needed to try to get some fresh air, you know, and sometimes I was tired. I was like walking in, I tried to walk in places where I could actually push things like carts. I wasn't necessarily shopping, poor stores, but I went into stores where I could lean on the cart and just get my body moving. Because if I stayed home, I was going to sit in my chair or be in my bed. There's not a lot to do in the house. So I tried to go out to places where I would walk, or I would walk with my brother. So, you know, I would just make sure that I was out and about and try to get some fresh air every day, which is very important. You don't feel like doing it, but you should. But treatment number 4, during that treatment, it was the second week. I was like, one morning I got up and, you know, went to the bathroom like I normally do. And then the whole day, diarrhea. Now I know what they were talking about. I mean, I just could, I had to stay in bed. I couldn't be, you know, more than a couple steps from the bathroom because that whole day was diarrhea day. One whole day, diarrhea day, diarrhea day. And I was like, oh, this is the other side of it. This is what these people are dealing with. And it was, I have to, and I if I can find the video of the young lady that I was watching who, you know, there was certain things that she said to get. And one of them was Depends. I was so happy that I had bought a package of Depends. I think she said Depends, liquid suppositories, and can't remember. Those are the 2 things I know I bought. And I said, like, I'm not going to use these, but, you know, it doesn't cost that much to have them, so I'm going to have them on hand. I was so happy I bought those because, you know, you think okay, again, this is going to be for the squeamish, skip forward. You think you're just passing a little gas. No, baby. So that whole day was a wash. That whole day was a wash. I thank my friends who, you know, sometimes I made appointments to, hey, hang out, go for coffee or whatever, and I had to cancel because I was just, you know, you think you're going to feel okay, you plan, okay, every other week. The second week you're going to be more, you know, more up and ready to go, and each day you have to take it one day at a time. Ergo, I have filmed this several times. But the 4th treatment, you know, one of the side effects that have really gotten deep is, and I don't know if you can see this, is that my nail beds have gotten, especially my thumbs, I think. That happened between treatment number 3. It started happening between treatment number 3 and it's gotten worse. Also, I'm not sure you can see this, but I mean, my hands look dry, but let me tell you, I lather up several times a day, over and over and over and over again, and they just dry. And someone said that they, you know, that for them it's peeling, and it's finally starting to peel for me too. The skin's starting to peel. My palms are dark, and I think the light that I'm using to record with is showing my palms as being light, but they're really actually very dark. And the bottoms of my feet are dark, and they have spots, and as my palms have spots, and my tongue. It's all spotted up. So I've gotten freckles. I don't know if you can see those either. I've gotten freckles, which I didn't have before. So those are some of the side effects that I had from the AC portion of my treatment. So this Thursday, so in 2 days, I start my next course of treatment, which is 12 treatments of Taxol. And so Taxol has a whole nother set of side effects. And I thought I only had 8, but I actually have 12. The upside is that I had an ultrasound and the tumors are shrinking. So I'm happy about that. The tumors are responding to the chemotherapy by getting smaller. And that was one of the things that the surgeon had said. By the time I get to him, there probably won't be any tumors at all. And I am standing on his word and God's word that that's going to be the truth. There'll be nothing there. So if you've made it to the end of this video, I know you are interested in hearing more about my cancer journey, but I do have other videos which should appear somewhere on either side of me. And I would love to have you join the Divine Diva K family. So all you have to do is click the subscribe button below, which is absolutely free to you, and you will join my family. Also click the thumbs up, because that lets you know that I like lets me know that you like my content. And I will see you in my next video.